Feels like something big is going to happen this week. Let's look into that. Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. First up, a huge thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. Thank you for liking, watching, commenting on the videos, sharing the videos, promoting the channel on your own social media platforms. It's all greatly, greatly appreciated. If you've donated money to the channel through Buy Me a Coffee, the Super Thanks, or Venmo, a huge, huge thank you. Okay, so the energy for this week um and feels somewhat akin to the energy that I felt the morning of September 11th. Um, so on September 11th, I walked to school that day, and I lived about a mile and a half from the university, something like that. And I walked most days, so that part wasn't unusual. But I just kept feeling like I was like not knowing something, like I was out of the loop. I didn't know what it was. Later I found out obviously what it was, but uh, this is the same feeling. Now, I don't think we'll look to see if there's going to be any terrorist attacks, but I don't think so. Um, I think it just feels like there's something we're out of the loop on. Like that's like something's gonna happen that we just don't know about yet, and it's gonna be big. The last couple of times I felt this was the weekend that the Pope passed, um, the weekend of the Texas floods. Um, so I mean I get this feeling every once in a while. It's not that often. So I wonder if there's a few things that I want to read on, and one just came to me as I was sitting here. I want to read to see if the Texas Democrats get arrested. I hope not, but that popped into my head as I was talking about this, or maybe some of them already been arrested. So I'm recording this on the early morning of August 11th. It's about 4 a.m. on the East Coast. Um, Yeah, let's look to see if the Texas Democrats are going to get arrested or been arrested already. That just occurred to me. Um, we'll look to see if we need to be worried about terrorist attacks. I don't think so. I mean, a big terrorist attack happening this week. Terrorist attacks in general, I think we always need to be worried about, but I don't really think it's that. But I think we should look since the September 11th feeling is there. The other things that come to mind are the felon's health, Putin's health, and Netanyahu's health. And I do believe Putin is alive, just to clarify that. So you can believe whatever, but I believe he is still alive. Okay. And if I think of anything else as we go, we'll read on that as well. It feels like something big. I'm not saying that it involves Netanyahu, Putin, or the felon health, but that seems like a good place to start. I don't think it's a terrorist attack, but I think we should just look at it just to see. The Texas Democrats getting arrested actually feels like it wouldn't be the act of them getting arrested that's the big thing, because that's wouldn't be terribly surprising. I think it's the reaction that would be surprising. So we really need to know just how are the Texas Democrats that, they're currently holding up the horrible redistricting thing that shouldn't even be a thing, um, and midway through a cycle, but uh, what do we need to know about the Texas Democrats? So these are the House Democrats. I think there's 50 or so of them. Um, if something did happen, I sure haven't heard about it, but it was kind of a slow news weekend. It was, or maybe I just wasn't paying as much attention as I normally do. I don't know. Well, they get don't think this is it, but maybe I do think this would create a huge political earthquake. And Democrats would just start arresting Republicans, and it just like it would spiral way out of control. But that would be the point of Democrats doing that. Um, Start with that, and then we'll move to the terrorist attack, and then look at Netanyahu, Putin, and the felon. No, I mean, I guess you could interpret this as incarceration, but I think they're just being they're holding up. With the Eight of Swords, yeah, new beginnings in the environment around. The landscape has changed on the redistricting front for sure. Like it does feel like Democrats are going to fight back, and I think that's okay. I do think it's a little bit of an illusion and delusion in the sense of whether they're successful, because I just think Abbott keeps calling special sessions, and basically they're going to have to be out of the state for over a year. Well, maybe not quite that long, but something along those lines. Yeah, they've got protections put in place. Like I don't think we even know where they really are, most of them. We do get the Five of Cups at the center. I think this is because they, unfortunately, I think they ultimately lose the battle, but I think they've made their point. The King of Wands. Yeah, it's their point was eloquently made. It's a shame that it had to be done in a way that's like this, because it's a shame that what Texas is doing is being done, but giving and receiving of help with the Six of Pentacles. And I think they'll still be talking to the media, and they're still putting up a fight. I don't, I hope I'm right. I don't think so, but it really wouldn't surprise me if one or two of them the FBI picked up. I don't think so. So I think they're held up. They're safe. I don't think they ultimately win this battle, but I think I said that when I first read on it. I do think that they're being helped and they're hiding, and I think winning the battle is I mean basically would require them to be out of the state for a year, because the Texas Republicans are going to just keep being awful. So it's a new reality. They put up a lot of safety nets, and they've definitely gotten their message out, and it's resonated with people. So I saw some polling out from Alaska on the governor's race there, and some polling from some congressional districts that are held by Republicans with the Democrats ahead, and pretty safe Republican districts in Florida. So, and then Mary Patola, I was hoping she'd run for the Senate, but I think she's going to run for governor. Um, I think she might actually win, and Alaska might get a Democratic governor. They're going to stay away for as long as they can, the Texas Democrats. But the reason why Republicans are doing this is because they know they're in trouble, and they're not going to do well in the next election. Otherwise, Republicans wouldn't be doing this. I mean, okay, is there going to be a terrorist attack? I hope not. And I don't feel that. It feels like something that we're not in the loop about, that everybody knows. Um, or maybe it's something this channel's in the loop about, but the rest of the country hasn't woken up to, or the rest of the world hasn't woken up to. Could be that as well. I feel like the like major something major. It could be weather related. I think maybe we should add that to the list as well. Let's look at extreme weather. Um, do you think there's going to be a hurricane coming soon, and some cyclones as well? I It's going to be a quite active hurricane and cyclone season. If there's a terrorist attack, it's going to be in the Middle East and Israel or Gaza. Um, Possibly Russia or France, maybe. It doesn't feel like there is. I mean, I've always seen more suicide bombings and more car bombings. Suicide bombings in Israel and or the Middle East, Syria, that area. Car bombings in Russia. This, I mean, that what this feels like it would make, I mean, it'd be international news. The Ace of Cups popping out there. Surprising new beginnings. Hmm. And it also this feeling doesn't feel like it's necessarily something bad. So no, I think while there's certainly problems in the US as far as intelligence gathering and stuff like that, I think the world is still doing their part. Um, it's possible with the Seven of Cups here to get the Empress. Um, that is my card for Russia. We get the Fool card. New beginning, similar to the Ace of Cups feeling this card has. Partnerships. So, and burdens. I don't think so. Maybe. Loss. Five of Cups. Stability. The Six of Cups. In a reading like this, where it's like a question of yes, no, kind of, not really so much what is about it. Is there going to be a terrorist attack? Possibly, but I don't think it's going to be a big one to be the thing that I'm feeling. So the Knight of Wands is underneath. So I don't think so. What about severe weather? Is there going to be a really bad severe weather event? We had some flooding in Wisconsin this weekend. Uh, the new moon did feel like, or not the new moon, the full moon on Saturday felt like it could bring about problems with water. Talked about that on the other channel. Possibly changes in world leadership as well. There's certainly some astrological stuff that suggests big things happening as well, but severe weather. What do we need to know about the weather? Let's just ask it that way. What do we need to know about the weather, including volcanoes and earthquakes? Do we need to know about the weather, including volcanoes and earthquakes? Do you think that there's going to be some severe weather, but it doesn't feel like, the Queen of Cups, flooding. I definitely can feel flooding. I felt that in South America and possibly Australia as well. Yeah, the moon card, this makes me think about the things that I said in the moon reading. That's did feel like there's going to be some flooding in places and hurricanes, possibly cyclone, in the coming weeks. We get the Knight of Wands. I think the planet's definitely trying to send us a message. We get the King of Pentacles, the Felon. uh, denying climate change. I think that's why that's there. Circles of support around money. The Three of Pentacles. I feel like if there is some weather events, I feel like there's going to be enough warning ahead of time. The Page of Wands again, fiery messages. Maybe possibly a volcanic eruption. The Five of Pentacles, loss, financial loss. Perhaps overseas, perhaps not in the United States. The Two of Pentacles, and then the Truth. I mean, the lack of major arcanas here, other than the Moon card, makes me think probably not, but possible for some flooding. Um, again, this denial of climate change is part of the reason here. If there is, I think there will be some loss, just property. I don't think it's human lives. And the planet's trying to send us some fiery messages with the Knight and the Page of Wands. Yeah, hurricanes, cyclones may be forming, but I don't think they're going to be here this week. I think that would be more like the next week. Um, certainly, the felon and people like him are making the weather worse. Um, and then possibly something overseas. Yeah, the Eight of Cups. I don't think it's weather related. Okay, let's go back to so let's look at. It was immediate when I first felt that I immediately felt like we should read on the health of Netanyahu, Putin, and the felon. Um, it's possible this is just something I don't know what it is. That's possible as well. But let's just see, how is Netanyahu doing? How is Netanyahu's physical well-being? How is Netanyahu's physical health, safety? Doesn't feel good. I mean, he's doing more and more things to alienate himself, as is the Israeli government, making a lot of citizens of Israel mad as well. Yes. It's we get the Seven of Wands. He's in a very defensive type posture here. I think he is worried about his safety slightly. The Queen of Pentacles. I think his health is stable. I don't think it's well, though. We get the Queen of Wands. Let's see what that means here in just a second. Yeah, he's making himself more and more isolated. He's also making Israel more and more isolated. I do think European countries and other countries start to like send really strong messages about his idea in Gaza, which would be a big departure from the United States, which is in of itself kind of a big deal. We get the Ten of Cups, the end of a cycle, and also um, the families' reunions and celebrations. Fiery messages and passion. Just feel like his health isn't the best, but I don't think that. Well, we get the Five of Cups loss. Just feel like something's going on here. Um, don't know if he's it almost feels like there's like a scare, perhaps a health scare coming in the future. Choices. I don't, well, complete and utter downfall, but I've always seen that happening for him this year or early next year, just because of the politics that he's doing. So his health, I mean, he's on the defensive. It feels like there's ends of cycles with the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords both, and complete and utter downfall. I don't think he's on this planet for much longer, but I don't think it's this week. I think there's loss around his health, and just a bunch of uh, stress taking its toll. I think right now he's stable. I do think that what he's doing is taking a toll on him. Um, because he knows it's wrong, for one thing. Um, Now that's not going to stop him because he's one of those people. But do you think whatever is going, there's some things going on with his health that he doesn't know about with the Two of Swords? It's like he's blinded to it, and uh, I don't think he feels entirely safe, like physically, like his physical perimeter being entirely safe. But we have the sun, and then the world card, which makes me think just more ends of cycles. So I don't think he's long for the planet, but I always thought of the three he would go last. But let's look at Putin. Let's use this deck. It shows Putin's health. Putin is a tricky energy to pick up on, but he's still there. Putin's health and physical safety. It definitely has something wrong with like some sort of intestinal issue or something along those lines. Thought that for quite a while that, you know, I always, again, I'm smelling it now. I always smell like hospital disinfectant whenever I read on him or try to tap into his energy. That's why I'm very sure he's still alive. Yes. It feels like he emits an odor too. I don't think it's ever been reported. But I think this has to do with some of the medicines he takes and some sort of intestinal issue that's not fixable, but I don't necessarily know that it's like immediately fatal, but probably doesn't have much more than a 5 year survival rate. But I don't think he's around that much longer. Um, so Putin. So Putin and the felon are supposed to be meeting in Alaska, I guess this week as well. So there's that possibility for some big things to come out of that. But we've read on that already. It shows Putin's health, physical well-being. Yeah, definitely something there that is a terminal. Get the card for the felon. He's beating the felon this weekend, which is interesting. Then we get the Page of Wands. He's under a lot of stress. I think the Russian economy is basically breaking down at this point. It's been broken down for a while. Of course, we don't really get the truth out of Russia, so we don't really know. We get the church, the Pope, the courts. Hmm. Well, firing new leadership almost makes me wonder if the Pope doesn't make some news. No, I mean, I don't know. Get the death card at the center of the reading. We're talking about his health. Let's keep going. Yeah, I mean it does feel like it's hmm, his health feels really not well. Let me get the card for Russia. We got firing new leadership, death, and then the card for Russia in this middle row. I don't normally read the rows, but you definitely um I mean I read them if they're important, but let me get judgment as well. Oh, and the truth, the Ace of Swords. Pausing suspension, new perspective, the Hanged Man. So there's five major arcanas here, um, versus the last few things we read on there haven't been very many. So we get the felon and we get death. Could be, and pausing and suspending. And we get judgment, death, and then it's like the afterlife judgment or us judging after the person is gone. Again, I don't think he's going to be here for very long. I've said that for a while. I mean, he is still here. That I'm pretty positive on. Uh, Fiery messages, new leadership, the truth, and then the Empress, which is my card for Russia. And if we read this row, it's like fiery new leadership from death in Russia, which is interesting. We get the Two of Swords and then Justice. I don't know. It could be that. Um, but he goes. I always thought the felon went first, but I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. Let's look at the felon's health. I mean, so the other way to read that is the felon's death causes a pause, so that causes a pause to the meeting in Alaska. Certainly possible. It wouldn't surprise me. We're definitely August 15th has been a date that's been on my mind for a while, as other people's as well. It's not just me. So wouldn't surprise me if the felon passed either, although I mean the fall decorations are out. I always saw the fall decorations. It definitely feels like it's this year. I sure hope so. Um, yeah, like the autumn leaves, pumpkins, those type of decorations. Gourds. Um, how's the felon? It's just the felon's health and his physical safety. And I think it would be disastrous for the world if the felon were to be taken out by someone, because I think that would just unite MAGA. So I don't think that happens, although there's definitely people plotting it. We'll get more information about that. Also on Netanyahu, there's lots of plots against him, which, okay, so let's concentrate here. The felon's health, well-being. I mean, you know, it's not good. His mind is like a ball being beaten by a tennis racket against a wall and coming back and being hit again. That's what it's felt like the last few months. This is very unsteady. Okay. I think people are getting more and more concerned about him. I think the public's finally starting to notice. Well, here again, we get the Ace of Wands, firing new leadership. And the fire, I think, is just because it's unexpected. I don't think it's like, anything beyond what's going on here. The Seven of Swords, deceit, deception. Misdirection. And judgment. And the Three of Pentacles circles of support around money, but perhaps no longer existing. This is the unveiled tarot, so it's kind of got two different images to it. So like he thinks everything's great, but the rest of us see everything crumbling. And I feel like this is people's views on the economy in the United States in particular. We get the star card of protection. I always thought this was for us, the people in the country as a whole, in democracy. I don't think it's his protection. Yeah, this juggling too much, feeling stressed, like it causes him to have certain health issues, or it makes them worse. The Seven of Pentacles, this is kind of what it feels like is going on in his brain when I tap into his energy. It's like it's this non-stop chatter, but none of it makes any sense. It's like, I mean, it's like imagine picking up. This is what the energy feels like. I think this might be a better way to explain it. It's like picking up a book, but only reading every fifth word, but reading it really fast. Every fifth word really fast. It would make no sense, right? That's exactly what it feels like. The Nine of Pentacles has got great health care around him. Lots of fighting. The Five of Wands here. I mean, he's slowly deteriorating. We're going to get new leadership that protects the country from the mob. I'm going to call that MAGA there. Uh, his brain's a mess, but we're protected from that. But ultimately, there's some really severe judgment of the people that covered it up. What did they cover up? They covered up the deceit, the deception, also the destruction of the economy with these like fake numbers that they're going to produce, and overseas influence. But health wise, he feels like he's going to be okay this week. Putin, on the other hand, kind of didn't. Karmic justice and the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles, and then the Tower card, followed directly by the Fool card, which is my card for the felon in this deck. I don't think either him or Putin are in very good shape. It's possible that's what's big that happens this week. It's possible it's just something that I just can't see. It's like, but there's a feeling. It reminds me a lot of 9/11, not in the sense of it being a terrorist attack or how it felt after 9/11, but before I knew what had happened that day, but I felt it. It's like, there's some big thing that we're just either the whole world doesn't know about or, very few people know about is gonna take place. Or just it doesn't necessarily feel like it's bad either. It's kind of just like there's something we just don't know that's gonna happen this week. Yeah. Well, I think we'll find out, but if I get any more, I'll let you know. All right, thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.